Hi, hi. Welcome again to our Conscious Leadership and Essence of Being bonus day for the challenge that we had. We had a 6-day challenge of communication and leadership. And I hope I'm in the right group. I don't know if it's on my personal page. My tech people are out of town. So yesterday, I think I posted in my personal, and I meant to post in the Essence of Being Healing Forest public group. But anyway, here I am, day 2 of the bonus. So today is our last day as far as what I'm gifting you and supporting you out there with your communication and leadership. And go back and do day 1 through 6 so you can see a couple of the tidbits and tools I gave you, and of course the challenges for each day, and post in the group, Essence of Being Healing Forest group, which is a public group, not the EOB grad group, okay? And then you're able to learn and share with each other, and I can interact with you. Okay. And if you're not here live now, again, I apologize if I'm in the wrong group. uh, Technology. So anyway, yesterday was about money. The bonus material that I gave you yesterday was about prosperity and wealth consciousness and money. So hopefully you can go back and do the little exercise I gave you yesterday for you just to get in touch with some of your beliefs around prosperity and wealth and consciousness around that. And today is relationships. I'm going to give you just a few little tidbits about relationships as a bonus. So it is a bonus day today. And then tomorrow is my last day. I'll be doing the live on this series that I've been doing for the last 8 days now. And it will be a bonus section for you to just answer any questions you have or any comments for me to be live with you tomorrow. And I'll be on as long as you're on. If nobody comes and sees me, then I won't be on. Anyway, here we go. So yesterday, again, was about money. The 6-day challenge was about communication and leadership. And as always, we start every broadcast and every part of our challenge with our Essence of Being cards. And these Essence of Being cards, again, we're just giving you a focus for you to look at how perfect each day. And look what we chose. You are worthy. So we're talking about relationships today. Perfect. So it says, you are worthy. The universe is incomplete without you. Let that sink in for a minute. You don't have to do anything to receive love. You make a difference. And just because I am wearing it, you matter. You make a difference, you matter, and you are worthy. How perfect are these cards? They're perfect. I pull the perfect one each day. You can get your own cards if you want. You can go to essenceofbeing.com and pull one each day for yourself, okay? But yeah, that's a really great message to remind yourself of today and to focus on, that you are worthy. You don't have to do anything to deserve all your gifts and all of your dreams and your visions and your mission and your desires, all right? Because you're worthy. Now, here's the concept about relationships. And then I'm going to give you a little challenge today so that you can peer into perhaps that subconscious thought that keeps you from getting what you want in healthy relationships. And of course, that's your bubble talk. Remember that from all of our other days. Our bubble talk is the subconscious thought that keeps you from getting what you want. That's the part that is in the bubble above your head like a cartoon character. So if your conscious thought and your subconscious thought are not aligned, sometimes it can cause friction and certainly not give you what you choose to have as quick as you want it or the way you want it. All right. So here's my little section I want to share with you about a new way. Perhaps you've not heard of this, or maybe you have if you've done our Essence of Being workshops, but it's called Orbiting in Love. Now, these are relationships, love relationships I'm talking about, okay? We have a lot of different kinds of relationships, but this one is all about love and your significant other type loves, all right? Orbiting in Love is a concept that Buckminster Fuller came up with, who again is somebody that I share and teach in all of the workshops that we do. And the concept is, you ever fallen in love? Yeah. Have you ever fallen out of love? Yeah. So what happens when you fall? Bam, right? Gravity. Bam, you fall and it ends. So Bucky came up with orbiting in love. So we orbit instead of fall. So it's an ongoing cycle. Okay. And when we orbit in love, we have our own orbit that we're in, right? So the concept that I want to share with you about this is we're whole and complete. So if I feel whole and complete as a woman and I choose to be with a man, if I believe that I am whole and complete and I don't need anything from a partner to fulfill me or to fill me up, to prove to me that I'm worthy, then I will attract someone to me that is also whole and complete. And what ends up happening is we come together and create something bigger than we can by ourselves. So instead of the unity becoming one, have you ever talked about my better half? Well, what does that make you? If that person leaves or however that works out, so you're a half person. So we set ourselves up sometimes for losing ourselves within a relationship. Like, who are we without that person? That's been our identity, right? So if that's our identity and then something happens, then who are we? We have to find ourselves, we're devastated sometimes, or we move on to the next. But the point is, if you're whole and complete and the other person's whole and complete and you come together, it creates something bigger than it you can by yourself. It expands, not contracts into one. Okay. So 1 + 1 = 3, which means there's you and there's me, and together it makes us. And with that us, it's creating synergy. So there's an energy that happens when two people come together, but most people, many people, and I'm a minister as well, so I've married a lot of people, but they come together and they think, "Oh, please love me, prove to me that I'm lovable." So we bring people into our space to say, "Love me so that I know I'm lovable." And it puts a lot of strain and effort and pressure on the other person. It's like, I have to prove to you that you're lovable. Now we try, don't we? We try to do that, and that's the honeymoon stage. We try to do it, but it ends up becoming really a lot of work because it's exhausting to try to constantly prove to another person that they're worthy and lovable. Because guess what? We have the same thing going on. We want the same thing. We think, well, who's going to fill us up? So the point is, if we absolutely can own our own worthiness, then what we create together as a relationship is so much bigger than we could by ourselves. And yes, if we break up or somebody dies or whatever happens, we'll be sad. We'll be, feeling all these feelings, but we don't lose ourselves because we were there the whole time. And we didn't lose our connection to who we are because that never leaves us. So the point of orbiting in love is to be able to really understand if we can create synergy and not ask another human being to fill our hole or our void, then um, the world is our oyster. Okay. So it's a concept about also allowing somebody else to come inside and see you. So having really conscious relationships, which is, again, with the Conscious Leadership Academy, it's all about consciousness. So we have consciousness about money, about relationships, about communication, and about leadership and success. So we're getting more and more aware of what that is for us to really have an intentional purpose. And so to allow somebody to come inside in our space is intimacy, right? Some people are afraid of intimacy, and we call that into me see. So if we let people come in, they might see us. What are they going to see? What are they going to find out? So our challenge is to just, what I'm going to have you do is do a little bit of subconscious stream of consciousness writing again about relationships so you can identify and be aware of, is there a block there? Is there anything expectation wise that I'm not seeing or that I can be aware of? And if it's serving me, that's great. If it's not, and it's not giving me what I want, I'm not attracting healthy relationships, then it'll give you an insight into your feelings of intimacy. Now, of course, this is just a little peek, okay? Because we can go deep into that realm when you do our Essence of Relationship classes and online and in person. But for now, let me give you just stream of consciousness writing. So this is going to be something I want you to fill in the statement, and you will write down the first thing that comes up. Don't edit it. Don't think about it. Don't try to figure it out. Just write down the sentence, say it out loud, and then write down the first thing that comes up, and then it'll give you insight. And I invite you to share that or your awareness or your discovery in the group so that we can all learn with each other. All right. So the first one is, in a relationship, men are supposed to what? In a relationship, men are supposed to, I don't know. Second one is, in a relationship, women are supposed to, in a relationship, women are supposed to what? And then the third one is, what I expect in a relationship is, what I expect in a relationship is, and again, this is love relationship, okay? So just write down the first things that come up, let it just flow, stream of consciousness, and that will give you some insight on what your expectations are and what your beliefs are around how do women and men show up. And of course, we learn that at a very young age, and we get to identify those and see what we've learned. And the cool thing about this is when you become aware of it, you can also ask your partner, if you have a partner or somebody that you're with, the same thing. Ask them to do the same thing so that you can see if you're aligned. See if your belief systems are aligned and talk about that and find out what are your core values around relationships and do they match? And if they don't, then you can talk about it and discover that and understand and have empathy. Remember, conscious relationships have empathy, respect, and ownership. The other kind of relationships you can have is that ego relationship, which is basically victim, self-protector, and rescuer. So you get to identify where you're in that cycle. All right. But keep that concept of orbiting in love as something perhaps that might be a new way of entering into a relationship or becoming into that relationship, knowing that you're worthy and that, yeah, you're worthy and you matter and that you make a difference. Okay. So tomorrow I do those stream of consciousness. Tomorrow's my last day that we're going to be doing this, but it's going to be a free for all. It's question and answers. If you're on live, that's great. I'll be able to answer any questions or share with you anything at all about our essence of communication, leadership, communication, money, prosperity, relationships. And join me October 3rd and 4th. So October 3rd is our essence of communication, so you can learn how to have more conscious communication with your relationships, okay? So that you can learn some other really deep experiences that we're going to go through, but learn some tools and tips that you can use. And it's going to be a 5-hour virtual workshop, October 3rd, Essence of Communication. The link will be here in the comments. And then October 4th is the Essence of Leadership, which is, again, if you want to boost up your game and how you're playing in the world, whether it be in your family or yourself or your community or your work or your job or your business, whatever, it's a way for you to develop those skills even more. Okay, so I'm going to give you even more tidbits about how to be a conscious leader and find out maybe some of those other blocks that you might have, or just getting over the hump about what's next, about being a leader, especially in these times. Everybody's pivoting, it feels like, or a lot of people are pivoting about who am I and why am I here? So you get to find that out too, understanding your purpose. Okay. So join me. The links will be here in the comments so that you can experience it. It'll be the last virtual workshops that I have scheduled right now for the year. So join me then. And until then, know that you matter, you make a difference, and what you focus on expands. I'm Burge Smith Lyons, and I'll see you tomorrow.